Thank you very much. Welcome to the sixth M4DT Day, the Methodology for Digital Transformation Day. My name is Hugo Gasca. Currently, I work at SANAM, and I'm also the chair of the same working group 14, that's for Digital Transformation working group, and I will be the moderator of this event. First, let me highlight some important points to consider in this event. The first thing is that this event is being recorded from start to end. The second point is that please turn off your camera and microphone so that we don't spend bandwidth unnecessarily. The third point that I want to share with you is you can write your questions during the presentations, during the talks, and at the end of every talk, the speaker will answer your questions. And the fourth point that I want to mention is at the end of the event, there will be a very brief survey. And we thank you and appreciate your answers and feedback. The next thing is that this working group 14 is focused on increasing awareness on digital transformation realm and concepts. And this event, the M4DT Day, is conducted on a month basis and is a means to communicate and share general knowledge about digital transformation concepts. And also, this working group is structured or has several work lines. And I want to mention by now that we have a task force. It is conformed with task forces. And we have a task force about digital certificates for calibration services. There is a task force for process of laboratory automation of these processes. We call it in short lab automation. Also, there is a task force for exploring and sharing knowledge about cloud technologies for metrology. Another task force for metrology applied to Industry 4.0. And as I mentioned before, we also have this task force about Agile projects and about Agile methodologies. We invite you to visit and review the M4DT web page. This is at the same web page inside the SIM. The SIM is the System of Inter-American Metrology. And there you will find valuable information about these task forces. They conducted activities and future events. Also, you will find videos and presentations from past events, and you can find the link in the chat. You can open the chat section in this event, and you will find the links that Ruben or Francisco are sharing right now. Thank you very much to the whole team that is helping with this organization and this conduction. Welcome to everyone again. We start the M4DT Day about Agile projects. At this time, we have the presence of the speakers, and especially to Aldo Garcia. He's the coordinator of the task force about Agile projects. Aldo, please continue.
Thank you, Hugo, and thank you all, and welcome to the M4DT Day with the Agile Projects Task Force. Today, our speakers will give a lecture of their experiences using Agile models in technological issues, and this will give us an idea of the group and its functions. A background that I can give you is that this is the model that ensures the delivery of value in any technology and methodological aspect and projects. Thanks to all the speakers for sharing their experiences to highlight the importance of the effort. The presentation that we had with Continental will be moved to another date, but we count with the valuable participation of Carlos Valle and Antonio from their brands. Welcome and go ahead and enjoy the presentations. Thank you. Right now, we are going to present you Antonio Fernandez Paternina. He's from Colombia. He's a project manager with high technical background. Antonio has a bachelor's degree in informatics, engineering, and 2 postgrad degrees, the first in project management and the second in software engineering. Additionally, he has 5 international certifications. He has knowledge and experience in different technologies, tools, and programming languages. He has more than 11 years of experience in different roles, beginning as a support engineer, developer, data engineer, consultant, CTO, project manager, and assurance director. Thank you, Antonio, and go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Pleased to meet you. I'm going to share my screen. Please, you can confirm me when you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, I'm going to begin now. Today, I'm going to introduce to the story points as a unit of measure in Agile projects. First of all, I want to begin with some basic concepts about project management. After that, I'm going to compare the Waterfall life cycle with Agile life cycle in projects. Then I'm going to introduce the story points, the user story, and some techniques and metrics for monitoring and control of progress of our projects. First, according with the Project Management Institute, a project is a temporal effort for the creation of a product, service, or unique result. Product, service, or unique result is a deliverable that which become verifiable. It can be tangible, like in a house or a building, and intangible, like a piece of software, a song, a picture, etc. The temporal effort implies that a project have been done or completed in a period of time defined. And it's the first difference between a project and operational job. These last are activities that should be repetitive as a part of an operation. In the software industry, we develop software in projects, and we need to support our clients with the operation process, delivering new updates, fixing bugs, adding some features, and helping with whatever that our clients need. Then, the waterfall life cycle is known as a traditional project methodology. It's predictable, the scope, time, and budget are completely defined before the beginning of the project. And the changes are very difficult to introduce because they be carefully evaluated through their change management process. And it's more difficult with the progress of the project. The other side, we have agile life cycles that are supported to the high change environment. It can be iterative because we can divide our project in small iterations that can be from 1 week through 4 weeks as a maximum, in my opinion. So the projects can be incremental because in each iteration we add new features or make improvement to a features delivered in a previous iteration, according with the feedback of our clients. And finally, we can combine the best of both worlds in hybrid projects. For example, if I have a government client, we need to finish a product on time and under the budget, like in a waterfall life cycle. But inside the project, we can use agile methodologies for the development of the software. Another example can be if I have a building company and I need to build a house for our client. And I can divide this project in two phases. First, the design. We can create the blueprints, the render or 3D model of a house for obtain a feedback of the client who lives in the house. After the finish this agile and iterative process in the first phase of the project, we can begin using a waterfall approaches for the construction of the house. Now, how can I explain the requirements in agile projects? We use the user stories. Those are a general and informal explanation of a software feature written as a user, as a final user. I'm going to use an example. We are suppose that we are developing as an e-commerce website for our store. And in this occasion, we need to create a payment button. The structure of this user story can be like the next. First, I need to understand which users are affected with this new feature. In these cases, our clients who buy in our website. After, I need to respond to the question, why deliver value? These new features deliver value because it enables the client to buy products under our website. After, I need to make a brief description about the functionality. I need to add a button for make payments in one click. Additionally, I can add some attributes, like, for example, the button must be blue, must be with half sizes, and this be located in this position of the screen, etc. Additionally, I need an acceptance criteria. An acceptance criteria, it's all conditions that the clients need in this product. For example, this button must to accept pays from account banking, credit card, PayPal, etc. And the last, we need a definition of done. This part is for the team members. Is the accord or agreement between the team members that they consider that the feature is completed. One of the most common examples of a definition of done is that the new feature pass all tests in the quality environment. Usually in project, we have 3 environments as a minimum. The developer environments, the quality environment used by the testers, and production environments in which we deliver the product to our client. Now, how we can estimate the efforts for complete these user stories? One of the techniques are the story points. Story point is a metric used in Agile project management to estimate the difficulty of completion of a user story. It's a number to indicate the team the level of difficulty of a user story in terms of complexities, risk, uncertainty, and efforts involved to complete it. And we use the Fibonacci numbers that as a series of numbers to assign a score to our feature. The Fibonacci number is a known series of numbers that is created with the summatory of the both last numbers. This series begins at 0 and 1, and we have the 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, etc. And in this way, we can assign a score. Now, I want to make an analogy with a more tangible activity of our life or our daily activities. I'm going to show an example with using my cooking in story points. I have this plate to prepare, and I want to begin with the easier for me. The sandwich. It's a simple sandwich with ham and cheese. It's text. For me, we can complete it in a couple of minutes. It's very easy. I have no uncertainty, I have no risk within, and it's very easy to complete. I decided to put one story point. Immediately, this activity becomes in my pivot user story, and it's the reference for future estimations. Now, what happens if I want to prepare more complex plate? Just a more complex, like can be a scrambled eggs. I need the eggs, bacon, butter, etc. And it can be take for me 5 or 10 minutes as a maximum. It's just a bit more complex than the last one. I decided to put it 2 user stories, according with the previous reference point. After I want to prepare a barbecue. A barbecue is a larger process than the above two. But I have no uncertainties here. I know all the tasks that I need to complete for obtain my result, my barbecue. I know that it's larger and involve more effort, but I have no uncertainty. I decided to put 5 story points to this activity. Now, the things are more complex. I have a paella. It's a traditional plate of Spain. And I have no idea really. Honestly, I have no idea how to prepare it. I just know that I need rice, seafood, and vegetables. I need to read recipes before to begin. And I probably need to try many times before obtain a great paella. I have a high level of uncertainty and risk here. For this reason, I decided to put it 13 story points. But what happens if I ask for the preparation of the same plate to a professional Spanish chef? Probably she or he say me, don't worry, it's another day in the work. It's very easy for me. I have no uncertainty and risk in this preparation. And for those chefs, this plate can be 3 story points to complete it because they can prepare it in a short period of time. It's the relative, for this reason, it's a relative unit of measure. Finally, we have the blowfish. It's a Japanese plate that has one problem. These fish have a lot of poison inside it. And the minimum error during the preparation can be fatal for the people who eat it. In my case, it's out of my capacity. I can't prepare it. If we use the same analogy in the software industry, we can think in a project that uses artificial intelligence. Usually we use the artificial intelligence engines for companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and we interconnect our systems to those engines. We can the capacity to create an engine like another created by Google. It's very complicated. And it's the one important decision that we need to make. Buy it in-house, buy it or make it in-house, sorry. But it's another topic for another presentation. Now, how can I assign these story points to all user stories in our iteration? At the beginning of an iteration, we celebrate a planning poker meeting. At this meeting, all user stories are socialized, clarified, until have been clearly understood by everyone in the team. After that, each member of the team thinking a Fibonacci number, and all people show their score at the same time. This for avoid that one team member can influence to the rest. And finally, each user story receives a punctuation, and at the end of the meeting, the story points are totalized for each iteration. For example, we can continue with the last example of the payment button in our e-commerce. Now I know that the whole team have been thought in a score. At the same time, they show their scores. Here we can observe three important things. One team member say one story point, while the another say the opposite, 8 story points. I need to ask today why. Why you think is 1, why you think is 8. Not for judgment, just for enlighten to the rest of the team the reasons. Maybe they are seeing some that the rest can't. After that, we have 2 important things. We have 3 votes for 3 story points and 2 votes for 5. What do you think is the correct score for this user story? 3 or 5? Always, we need to take the higher in these cases. It's better to have more story points, and at the end, if we have time, add new feature when we can. Now, how can make monitoring and control of our iteration? We are to suppose that we have an iteration of 5 days with 15 story points after the meeting. At the 0 day, the moment of the planning, we have 15 points to complete. And we can use the burn down chart. This is a chart that shows me the total of story points pending to complete. And we have the blue line with the ideal plan. I have 15 story points in 5 days, and I need to complete 3 points each day. And the orange line is the real progress of the project. Every day we need to celebrate a daily meeting for make monitoring and control. It's normal that in the first day we have not complete any story point, because at the morning we celebrate the meeting, and maybe this monitoring and control meeting is at the afternoon, and maybe the team have not enough time to complete anything in less than 1 day. But in the day 2, we have a problem, or we can have a problem here. We can observe that the story points pending is the same as the last day. And probably we need to remove a blocker or find a solution for a problem that the team. And we need to make decision in real time for avoid problems in the future. After that, resolving the problem, the team can complete user stories after to begin this iteration on time. What's a method that we can use in this kind of estimation process? One of the most important is the velocity. The velocity is the quantity of user story the team are capable to complete in an iteration. It's very important to understand it. And these metrics can be used to convert to a traditional metrics like hour or earned value. This because our sponsor or our client need a report expressed in hours, effort by person, etc. And we need to report today. Then why don't we use hours directly? Why we need to complicate more the process using a relative unit of measure in our project? And I have to show you some reason that I consider that it's very important. First, the iterations should be goal-oriented. We need to motivate our team to make a solution to a problem. We don't, we shouldn't thinking, I need to complete 40 hours of work this week. No, I need to complete a task. I need to make a solution for a problem in the real life. And it's more motivating using the goal-oriented iteration. For example, we need to complete the payment button. The project needs to embrace uncertainty. We can think what can think the people who work in the development of the vaccine of COVID-19 before the beginning. They in their minds have a lot of uncertainty and risk here. But this is their motivation for complete and make a great job for solution a problem in around the whole world. Also, the teams generally are diverse. We have members with different levels of experience, different knowledge. We have senior developers, medium, junior, or even trainees who is in the project just for learning. A user story developed by a senior can be completed in one day, for example. But what happens if the same user story is developed by a junior developer? Maybe he needs 2 days to complete the same work. And it's completely normal in the real life that we find out the situations. And for this reason, it's more recommendable to use this kind of metrics units. Also in technological and innovation projects, the team usually need time to research. We need to understand troubles. We need to read, we need to make experiments, we need to test things or hypotheses before the beginning. And this time is usually needed at the beginning, especially in these times when our client make requests for things that involve many kind of different complex technologies like cloud computing, artificial intelligence, blockchain, databases, etc. It's impossible that one person knows all this universe of technologies. We usually learned in the process of the creation. And finally, a developer can spend hours finding a bug and just few minutes to solving it. It's happened every day. It's very common in any kind of team. It's normal. And for these reasons, I consider that it's important to use this unit of metrics. I hope that my presentation can be useful for you in your future projects. I'm going to invite you to visit our website, add my contact for more information, and follow me at LinkedIn for make connection using these QR codes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fernando, for your interesting presentation. Let's start with the questions and answer session. I think we have a couple of questions. Please write down your questions in the chat, and we will try to cover all of them. We have the first question from, it's hard to pronounce for me, Eukiriasis. And the question is how these story points are related to the activities in the burn down chart that you just showed.
Okay, I'm watching one question in the chat. The first is the story points only can applicable in software development project, can be used in methodology projects, or yeah, it's the one question.
No, Antonio, no, the question is, sorry, Hugo, how the story points are related to the activities in the burn down chart.
Okay,
This
okay.
A previous question, yeah.
Okay, in the burn down chart, we are the totalized of story points for each user story. Generally, we have more than one user story for an iteration. For example, we can have one user story of 5 story points, another for 3, another for 2, and the last for another 5. And we have 4 user story that totalized 15 story points. And when a user story is completed, I can reflect the diminution of pending story points to complete in the burn down chart. And this will be made in every day meeting reunion.
Thank you. Antonio, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, now, thank you for your answer. We have this second question that you just read because of the talk is entitled
Okay.
about applying these history points to software development. And the question is if you think that we can apply that to metrology projects.
Okay. The story points are a relative unit of measure. Maybe it's originally used for software development project, but as can you see in my previous example, I use cooking for express story points. At the same sense, we can use for every kind of project that we need. We need to understand how it works and apply it. My recommendation is to understand, socialize with your team, and just do it. And I'm sure that you hang on it in a very, very short time.
Thank you, Antonio. Anyone has additional questions? Please write them in the chat.
Yeah, Hugo, I have a question.
Yeah.
I was trying to write it to the chat, but it's doing something strange things. Antonio,
Go ahead.
Thank you, Hugo. Antonio, in your experience, in your real life experience, do you have an example that can you provide us to understand how this model, agile model, helps to the companies to improve their capabilities and deliver value? Do you have one example that you can share with us?
Sure. In our company at Quality Data, we use these methodologies in our projects, and we develop value with each iteration that we finished. And the story points are a standard, maybe at the industry. We can find how to assign this score to the user stories in tools like Jira or Azure DevOps. And it's very useful around the world. And with the time, it's more useful, more used in different projects.
Thank you. And a final question for me: what challenges do you found applying this kind of agile model in your experience?
Okay, the agile models has a particularly that is that we need to make engagement with all team. An agile project manager must be a coach and have a strong soft skills. We need to be a mentor, a guide for our team members. We need to serve and work together with our partners, not the typical project manager that be in a higher position. It's my recommendation for all project management agile using agile approaches. We need to the team understand the concepts and apply it. And another key is that the agile project is are founded in the experience and the test and the continuous improvements on each iteration.
Thank you, Antonio. Go ahead, Hugo.
Thank you for your questions,
you.
Aldo. We still have a couple of minutes. If any one of you have any question, please write it down or send it or talk it just as Aldo did. Well, if no questions, thank you very much, Antonio.
There is another question in the chat.
Oh, yes. Are there history points only? No. That was one previous one. I don't see it. Can you read it, please, Francisco?
Yeah. Sorry.
Or
I'm
Aldo?
read it.
Yeah, go ahead, Aldo. Sorry.
What is the uncertainty of the story points? I think is the question.
Okay, the uncertainty is where we reference when we don't know how to complete a task. For example, the project for create the COVID-19 vaccine has a lot of uncertainty before the beginning. The teams probably need many time to research. In a software project, we can think, and our client asked me for use a technology that I know I don't know, but I need to deliver value to there. And I need to research and understand how it works. Maybe the client need that the software can understand that the client typed in a text box, and I need to learn about language understanding in text message before the beginning. This is the uncertainty that I referred in the story points estimation process.
Thank you again, Antonio, for the interesting talk and sharing this knowledge. Just to mention, to clarify, probably to the audience, is that the concept of uncertainty is pretty tough in metrology and is more general. This approach that Antonio mentioned, how to consider uncertainty of the numbers of the estimation of the time or the effort that is required to complete the task. So it is I would say a different kind of uncertainty, but we don't have many other words to use. It's just to mention that this estimation has some kind of variability that is not that is strictly random, and it's the same as measure uncertainty, but they don't do this whole processing and analysis of uncertainty as metrology people do. Thank you again very much for this interesting talk, Antonio, and for answering the questions. Let's move on to the following talk entitled the Applying Agile Models to Projects Related to Technology. This is in charge. We will hear Carlos Valle from Kaizen company. Carlos Valle is an engineer in aeronautical manufacturing from Mexico, and he has many years of experience as a business process consultant, SAP consultant, and process ERP. His experiences in the industry is about process manufacturing, value chain processes, and virtualization in SAP suites, as a solution architect and consultant in topics about food, publicity, agro-industry, textile industry, transportation, among others. So he has experience in several sectors. And currently he is consulting manager in the company Kinds and Consultors. Good morning, Carlos. Welcome. Please go ahead with your presentation.
Hello, good morning to all. So I'll be sharing my screen, so just let me know if you can see it, please.
Not yet.
You can see it now?
Not me, maybe.
No,
No.
we can see it.
No yet. Okay, I'll do it again. Now you can see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I'll give you a brief of what we're seeing in this half an hour. We are going to see how is, for example, the theoretical part of the Agile methodology, but we are also seeing how can we apply it? What's the experience of having an Agile project, in this case, as a client, as a provider, and also as an integrator. In this case, for SAP projects and also for consultancy projects. So if we're ready to go, I'll help you getting to know the methodology. What's the important part so we can know if we are ready or if Agile methodology is what we need? We have to take in conscious this methodology is for evolving or in continuous growth solutions. In other words, incremental developing. This is a product that it's not a final product. Every day it's changing. Every day we are looking to add value, and this methodology is think for all the companies that are continuous changing. Normally, all the products has to be evolving, has to be getting better, has to be growing in efficiency, in cost efficiency, in risk efficiency. So this is why we use this methodology. As Antonio told, there's a really important word in Agile methodology, and it's the iteration. We're working with done iterations. What's an iteration? As just Antonio told, is an amount or a quantity of certain story points that we defined as an stint. The important value of this methodology is that this iteration and the story points will help us know the scope of that moment. Normally is between 2 weeks and 2 months. And also we have to put or add value to the product. This is like the way this methodology works. We are always going to add value in a short stint. Normally the stints are things that in the first iterations we have to add the more value we can, because this will help us have this input of the client so the product still all the way long still growing. Sorry. Every iteration has 6 phases: planning, analysis, design, codification, testing, and documentation. Normally, it is think that Agile projects are undisciplined projects because there's not that much of a documentation such as Waterfall. Normally here in the methodology is face-to-face. Imagine you're coding and you know you have versions, you have all these betas. Imagine if we have to documentate all, we're losing time, valuable time for the product. So in this face-to-face, we are all in touch with the product. We can all have a hand in the product and make the product better. I'll go to planning. What's planning in these meetings? Normally we have every week meeting, and we're looking at scope, risk, and complexity. But we're not looking at as hours, as Antonio told. We are having story points because we need to measure uncertainty. In the hours, what happens normally? If I give you hours, normally I have these security factors so that I don't miss or I don't hit wrongly. Here, the uncertainty, we are using it as a part of planning, but this uncertainty, if things start getting clear as we start getting the client or the key user involved, this uncertainty will use this time or these story points given to uncertainty, we can use it to refactoring or to give value added to the product. Normally, the meetings, these week meetings, are for status and problem solving. There's also in the methodology, there's two words that are really, really important: respect and courage. In which why I tell these words. Respect is I have to respect the work of others. If I found a mistake in the coding or if the coding can get better, I'll do it. And also the courage. So if the coding is not what I've been needed, or as the iterations are continuously improving, I found that what I code or what I construct is not what we are looking for, the courage just to throw it again and start with a new iteration to give value to the client. The horizon, as I told you, is between 2 weeks and 2 months normally, depending of the subdivision or the subgroup of Agile projects I'm using, such as XP, such as Scrum, Kanban. The magic of this is that there's not only one methodology that can be used. For example, in this case, the part of the Scrum is to make the project and the product with more efficiency. And for example, the XP, the extreme programming, is to add the most value to the product. Kanban is to have all the flows, all the charts in a graphic way, so I can use multiple methodologies to deploy the best product. Now, also as Antonio told, Teams POV. Here, normally in a waterfall methodology, every expert has its own process and he works all the way along the process without involving with all the team to get to know the risk, to get to know the complete scope. So all perspectives are taken in account. As Antonio told, if I have story points of 8, story points of 5, I have different experiences, different soft skills, different points of view of how can a problem be solved. In this case, for example, in the extreme programming, there's a task or a methodology called pair programming, where there's two people coding the same solution or solving the same problem. Why? Because the two people thinks better than one. And also, when we are coding, we can find some better ways to code or some link coding to help the other one get a better coding and refactor the capability and the efficiency of the coding. We have to have synergy. We have to be committed to the team. Here, Agile Projects needs really this motivation factor to everyone, so to get involved with the solution, so we can have the best solution available. Also, as we all have a hand in the coding, we have the whole case. We have the product understanding, and we can do better our part. The commitment. We are not looking for a project. We are product emphasized. We are centered in the better product, in a product of value. There has to be discipline. There has to be multitasking. There's not like waterfall methodologies that if I have to solve something, there's only one person who can help me. And if he's in the process, I have to wait and we're losing time. Here with the multitasking, as everyone knows the product and everyone is getting involved in the product, we can have quicker solutions. Here, the Agile is having flexibility, having the capability to adapt and also to be quick. We need quick solutions. We need value added at all time, and we need tangibles. There's not the issue that after, for example, in a waterfall methodology, after 6, 8, 1 year month, 1 year project, when the key user or the final client gets to know the product, he's discontent because that's not what he was waiting for, or there were gaps, or the coding has not the critical quality assurance. So with this stint and these done iterations, we're getting sure to have a tangible, to have the user experience, to do this quality assurance, to do this training, this testing, so we can ensure we're having the product we're looking for. And also the on time. We're running on time, so as we need tangibles, the stint has to be delivered on time, and the deployment has to be really emphasized on the product. There's also in the part of courage, of the courage thinking, is maybe I can't find the solution today because it's really a difficult problem to solve, but I have to have the courage to make sure I'm having the solution tomorrow. This is about the commitment. The part of standardizing, that standardizing in measurement is everything. When all we can have the same language, we can have the same comprehension of what we're doing, we're going to a good way. We have to define things. There's a maximum of story points. These story points will tell us the experience of how experienced does the group has to be, the volume of people contributing to this stint, and also the defined stints will give you our deadlines. We have to have a product quality. In the methodology, the product is all. We're not looking for a dumb process. We're looking for quality tangibles. Also clear scope and also continuous improvement. As I told you, this is incremental developing. So the product every day has to be better. Multidiscipline teams. We have collaborative teams, dynamic teams. They can change. If in an iteration I was doing the testing and tomorrow we need the training, I can change from being a tester to being a trainer because I know the product. I know how it's been coding. I have been coding with all the team, so I can change my role, my function in the project. And also we need complete involvement with the project and the product. One of the central points here is normally I'm the expert or I have the expertise in developing, in coding, but I'm not expert in every process. So when we involve the client or the key user, we are having that value added because he is the expert in the process. He's the one who's going day on day with the process, working with making better the process, automating the process, and having the best efficiency in every process. So in product value center, we always have a better product because it's convenient for both parts, for the client and for us. We have on-live user experience. So as the product is being delivered, the tangibles, these stints, the user can interact with the product and can give us value information to add to the product, to refactor the product, or to do changes to the product so the product has the quality assurance and also has the compliance we need. Valuable data to improve. As the client is involved, he knows the product also. He wants the product to be better, and he's giving us these quality inputs. He's giving us these insights, and in the next iteration, we can have this product get better. And the completed requirements. Normally, what happens when I have the requirements, I have these interviews. They give me a specific scope, but as we are giving tangibles, people can get notice about risk, about quality controls we have to do, about automation rules we have to implement. So we are having this product as a tangible, and we're doing it better at every time. Flexibility and capacity to adapt. This is the most important about Agile products. If we want to be Agile, we have to be flexible. We have to have the capacity to adapt to a new scope, to a new rule, or to a new process. So new stints are done without equations. We have to work with quickness. We have to be product centered, and also the structural team, it's going to be changing. So we have to have the capability and the involvement so we can do our best with our task. And also, there's no final product. It's going to be always better and better and better. Stints define maximum points. As I said, we're measuring effort. Short terms with available testable and usable product. That's the agile insight, to have tangibles, to have product that can be tested in 2 weeks, in 1 month, so we can get to know if we are doing the good way. And also now we've changed from database interface to user interface, and now we're exploring user experience. Now all the solutions have to be centered in user experience. You know, there's a learning curve. So if the user is involved with the solution, we're gonna have the best radio in this curve of learning. But if the user is not motivated, if the user is not willing to use the product, this product will be obsolete. Will tend to be not there's not this situation where the product can be really good, but if the user is not involved, we are not getting a better product, and the product is not gonna be used. So if it's not gonna be used, it will be obsolete, or simply it will be hard to train again, so that the user can get to know the solution or the software the best way. And we have defined deadlines for a value addition. We have to add value every stint. Normally, as I told you, they criticize this methodology as an informal methodology because there's no documentation. Yeah, normally there's no papers, but we have the documentation of the fixed values, of the fixed processes, because that processes can't be changed. They have to be the base of everything. So we document only the most important values. Like if we're building the house, we're not building, for example, we're not documenting the paint, but we are documenting for sure all the weight that the house can deliver. Product validations, we are doing product validations every time. As the user gets the input that deliver, we're having validations, quality validations. As I told you, also Scrum and the old meetings have to be face to face. This will commit the group and give us discipline. Now, as I've covered all the theoretical part, all the methodology, I'm gonna give you my experience as a client. As a client using these kind of methodologies, we have better ratio between expected and deployed. Normally, it's even better. What they expected to what is deployed, it's a better product than what the client was expecting. We have accurate field rates. We have on-time deployment, which translates to cost and satisfaction, better product than what the initial scope was, and we can have a better service. As everyone knows the product, we can give this service to the client. And also in the commercial way, as the vendor has the knowledge, there's product being delivered, it gives us a best relationship with the client. Because like there's no face to be closed, there's a tangible, and if the tangible has been delivered, the iteration has been done. That's my experience as a client. Now my experience as an integrator, it's really simple. The simplicity we have without all these documentations, with the tangibles being delivered, we can have as an integration the solutions, the SOA, the SOA, we can deliver, we can connect, and we can have the full solution or the integral solution. We have functional teams. So these functional teams can work between solutions, better responsibilities management. As we define in the iteration, just the function, not really the person, we can have this responsibilities management and this flexibility in the group to have a better solution. And we have improved communication because we don't have to have these modification notes. We're gonna get loose in the versions. If we're looking what was changed 3 months ago, it's really hard to find the documentation, or not mattering how good the project management is. As a product change, if we have these face-to-face communications, we know where the product is going. And now as a supplier. As a supplier, I have more success cases. I have integral solutions, control expenses and costs, giving us better margins and easygoing deployments, and also good references. The part of testing. As I told you, there's value added instantly and risk are diminished. The learning curve is accelerated. We can have a better front end in development and the user experience is improved. And also we have a better base for training. As we've done the testing in the final product or in the version that they're gonna use, we don't have this utopical training where we give standard solutions or we're having untangible products where we have to imagine how it's gonna work. So when we train, as they've done the testing in the final product, it's really easy for the training. Now, the go live. How do we do the deployment? As I said, the go live product deployed is closer to the final version. So the adjustment and the refactoring in the coding is not as high as normally in other methodologies. We have less support tasks because now the concepts are clear, the product is clear, so we don't have to have these issues with support because users don't know or don't get to use to the product. The user is familiarized with the product because he only is looking for the last iteration, not for all the project to be delivered in only one phase. And the value attached to the knowledge and the usage of the product. So as I said, we can add this time that we normally give to support to get to know for the user to get the whole product. We can add this time to value add to the product. Now the topic we're having agile methodology in digital transformation. The technology is applied. We know normally we are in digital transformation, but it's not just IT. There is a bigger gap. As you know, every solution, every software, it depends on the input and how we comprehend the process. So there's a bigger gap. Why? Because normally the process aren't being documented or aren't being well understood. So that's why I said there's a bigger gap. It's not just digitalizing or it's not just doing automation. There's a gap of working in a consultancy and having the process well understood. So when we're talking about digital transformation, we're thinking about automation and we're thinking about digitalizing and virtualizing. But there's a work that has to be done before, and it's understanding the processes, making sure that the user knows the process and is doing the best efficient way of the process. That's why in digital transformation, one of the keywords is consultancy. It's not just about virtualizing services. We have to get to know all the processes, and also one of the values we are getting out of these agile methodologies is the capacity of tropicalizing. As you have heard at the beginning, I work in different industries. So with agile methodologies, we can have experts of different industries adding value and best practices to new industries. The agile methodology, as you've asked to Antonio, is not only for development. It can be to tropicalize solutions and projects, such as measurement. We can have these story points. We can have these multidisciplinary teams. We can have this respect. We can have this courage. We can have the Scrum. We can have the Kanban. We can have the acceleration, the efficiency, the quickness in any project or any construction we're doing. Any architecture we're having made, we can implement this kind of methodology as thinking to just add value at all time. Don't plan for 1 year when we know every project has changes every minute. So we cannot plan with that huge horizon. We have to adapt. We have to be adding value in stints, and we have to be capable to be flexible to give the best solution. we have to have better software and processes, and we have to be capable of evolving. That's all of the presentation. I don't know if you have some doubts.
Thank you, Carlos, for your excellent presentation. Let's move to the questions and answer sessions. We have a couple of questions by now. If all of you have any question for Carlos, please write it down in the chat. The first point that we have here is about if you can elaborate, that is a question from myself.
Okay.
If you can elaborate a little bit about the concept of on-live user experience. Is it about learning by doing, or it refers to about client involvement and satisfaction?
User experience is more of how the user interacts with the solution. If I'm making it simpler, if I'm making it quicker, if the user is happy to be involved with the experience, if the framework is a friendly framework, if he can if he's only having 1 or 2 clicks to get to the information, or if he has to do like a long task to get to the final destination. So it's giving the user this involvement and this friendly environment, so he can feel sure about using the software. He can feel free to experiment with the software and to have the best value of the software.
Oh, thank you for your answer. We have a second question from Aldo. How do you think Agile can help develop projects with different silos in an organization, probably, or integrating different institutes at the same project?
As I've told, as it's face-to-face, anyone can get involved. As there's a product, a tangible product, anyone can get to know where we are. And we can have like a little demo, a little training, but with the product. So these kind of interactions get the user really involved really quickly, because he gets to know where we are, what are we doing, and in which phase we have to be. And he doesn't have to be involved since the beginning. He only has to be involved in the iteration we are going.
Thank you very much, Carlos, for your answers. We don't have more questions by now. Anyone who has questions can speak. You can write it in Spanish and we can translate it, or you can even speak it in Spanish and we can translate it also. We have still a couple of minutes for more questions. I have another question, Carlos. In your experience, what is the team size that you have participated in projects? About 2, 10, 20 members in the team?
Normally, it depends on the complexity of the software. So I've been in teams of 5 till teams of 40. It depends on the process we're touching, on the solution we're giving, and also if it's a mid enterprise, a AAA. So teams are gonna be elaborated since the story points. So if we have cleared the story points, now we can develop a team, because we know there's a limited effort that a user can deliver. So with the story points, it's gonna deliver, and also the uncertainty. As the product or the process is clearer, this uncertainty can just help us have slim or lean teams.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you.
maybe we can start with 40, and as this uncertainty is getting clearer, is getting lower, the team doesn't have to be that big.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer. We have another question. If you have a experience where say the agile approach didn't work, do you have any experience that you can share with us the reasons why it didn't work? Did you change something and improvements, and did you make it work? The kind of challenges that we can face at the beginning where we start trying to use it and maybe we can fail. I don't know if you have any experience about situations where this methodology didn't work.
Yeah, normally when we have, as I said, to use the agile methodology, we have to have this iterative and incremental development. When there's a product that doesn't have to have the PLM, the life cycle being changed or being improved, normally agile doesn't work because we can have the whole planification and just follow the waterfall methodology when we have it all clear, or where the maturity of the process or of the solution, we have a really limited requirement or a really small requirement. And also when the team doesn't have um, this experience or doesn't have the commitment, is when you have to analyze which team you're working with, and sometimes it's better just to have everything planned and just having these long stints, depending on the product, depending on the client, and also depending on your team. Also, mostly as an integrator, depending on the team, you can analyze if the product is going to change, if the product is going to evolve, or if it's a stationary product. If it's a stationary product and the process is mature, and maybe the team is not with the soft skills needed, you can go to a waterfall methodology. But normally we suggest that as everything is changing, that you think of a live product, that you analyze a nice PLM, having this life cycle of the product, and always looking for the product. Maybe we're not changing some of the interface or the front end, but we can make the coding efficiency. We can start looking for faster return of investment. So normally every product is changing, but as you can understand, normally we, the consultants or the developers, we can see something, but if the client its needs and requirement is to have a product of just one deliver, maybe the option is not to go with these stints, because also if the project is maybe 2 months or 1 month product, it's a small product, maybe you can think of a waterfall methodology and not an agile methodology.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Can you share your contact information, your email or your LinkedIn address?
Yeah, for sure.
I think we didn't see it in the presentation. Probably we don't have it. Thank you for that. We have another question about what programming languages do you use for your projects? What kind of, is it on SAP?
Normally, well, there's, as you know, SAP has now HANA. It's not working in SQL. So we normally use ABAP. We normally use
right, ABAP. Yes.
Yeah, we use ABAP in the case of S4HANA. We use SDK for the case of Business One and the lower suite. But now with HANA, we can use with the service layer, we can use any language. So we can have Java, we can have Python, we can have any language, and we connect through APIs. But it's a native connection through HANA, and the product or the solution, it's called service layer. This is for SAP. And for what programming I use in the project? If an ERP is not involved, we can use any language. That's part of the analysis to get to know which language will help us the most. Also with the maturity level, and also it will be about the capacity of investment of the client, the language we are using. But this methodology can be used with any languages, because the methodology is about the product, it's about giving value, and also it's centered not in the process, but centered in how can we add value to any solution.
Thank you very much again, Carlos. Carlos Valle, if we don't have any more questions, I think we will move to the next session. Thank you very much, Carlos, for your excellent and your interesting presentation and for answering our questions. Our next talk and final talk of today is entitled Agile Projects Experiences, Challenges, and Future Work for Metrology for Digital Transformation. It will be presented by Aldo Garcia from the Centro Nacional de Metrología of Mexico, CENAM. Aldo has experience in development of projects and services for the area of vibration and acoustics of CENAM. He has knowledge about applied to vibration and acoustics measurements, experience in calibration services, development and optimization of measurement systems using instrumentation and automation, and signal control and processes for various transducers, as well as programming skills, knowledge of standards for measurement laboratories, uncertainty estimation, all this stuff, teamwork, continuous improvement, and of course, implementation of agile models. He is an active participant in digital transformation topics, such as Industry 4.0 and Metrology 4.0, digital calibration certificates. Also, he works with remote sensors and the Metrology cloud, some sort of, although currently leads one of these digital transformation task forces about Agile projects. Good morning, Aldo. Please go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you, Hugo. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see it, please.
Yes, now I can see it.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we're going to begin this presentation about the task force of Agile projects for the metrology for the digital transformation. This task force was created for the necessity to support the working groups and the task forces from the Inter-American metrology systems. So in this presentation, we are going to define the scope, the benefits, and strategy for the interaction between NMIs, National Metrology Institutes, and we are going to speak about experiences, challenges, and future work. So let's going to begin this presentation. I'm going to share with you an introduction. We are going to listen this video. I'm going to share with you. So go ahead. There is. Okay, that was a little introduction of our task force. So the intention of every metrologist, scientist, and engineer is to develop problem-solving capabilities to become more efficient through experience in order to create systems that can simplify tasks and deliver value. So we have ideas, we have knowledge, we have a model that we can implement to simplify and to success value at the end of the projects. We have methodology because this is our goal in this effort, and the result of this is the methodology value solutions. So the task force of Agile projects arose from the moment in which the digital transformation is the objective, since the Agile model is very useful to attend environments with rapid changes, such as technologies. The success of the application of Agile models in more complex organizational structures, such as an enterprise, originally arose from their implementation in small groups. With the implementation of iterative and adaptive methods ensures that the product developed will have value for the stakeholders. Adding well-defined roles in the organization and having consultant follow-up to the development team allows us to achieve a cadence and flow of activities that ensure to deliver quality and reduce the risk of failure. The success of the Agile model is that it focuses on the customer and relies on the stakeholders so that the product development of service is expected. So we are going to focus right now for the Agile model. As you know, we have an Agile development that contains requirements, plan, design, develop, release, and track and monitor. We have these circular activities and circular criteria to define the Agile model. So if we follow this, we are going to guarantee the product at the end of the project. And if we apply this, we are going to have improvement with continuing cycles because we are applying continuing cycles, small, high functional and collaborative teams. Multiple methodologies are involved. We have flexible and continuous evolution of the project, and we have customer involvement. So we have our Agile Project Task Force goal, that is develop projects among NMI's National Metrology Institutes in collaboration with SIM working groups, task forces, customers, and stakeholders in an agile way, coordinating and transferring knowledge and providing support. We will be the support task force for SIM working groups, and we are going to have this in mind to achieve our goals. Okay, we have here general objectives of the Agile projects. First, we have all of these. It's more or less the same as our colleagues Antonio and Carlos told us. If we apply this, we are going to reduce the develop time. We are going to reduce uncertainty. It's important to make the difference. I said uncertainty about mitigate risk, rapid identification of risk. So sorry for that. It's about border. This is the meaning of for us to reduce uncertainty. We have to improve efficiency, improve quality, and improve the change capability and the customer satisfaction. This is the general objectives of Agile projects. So we have two specific objectives of the Agile projects for the M4DT effort that are promote and share knowledge to develop projects using Agile principles and model, iterative and adaptive to each interested working group or task force, stakeholder and collaborators. Work in collaboration with the working groups and stakeholders to give a track of the development of the projects to deliver in time, increase the commitment of the different NMIs participants in the projects using Agile model, increase the quality in the delivery of the projects working with the different groups to find joint efforts and develop them in Agile and cross-cutting manner. Generate feedback information with the experiences achieved that can serve the working groups and stakeholders in their meetings and developments. This Agile model, you can understand and learn that is very practical if we apply this kind of model, because in this way we can get sure that we are going to work together in more efficient way. We have expected benefits of applying the Agile model to the M4DT effort, that is effective hybrid, remote or impersonal interaction between national methodology centers for the development of digital transformation projects, applying technologies of remote communications and interaction ideas. We know that the time is vital, so the Agile model will allow it to be managed in a flexible way so that methodologists, scientists, engineers, or collaborators can combine their efforts in a coordinated manner and ensure that they can participate in projects without neglecting other important activities by applying Agile criteria. We're speaking the same terms and criteria allows for better communication and therefore better development of innovation and flow in project development. Since the Agile model defines roles, methods, and principles can be ensured that everyone involved will be able to speak the same language. This is very important for us. Improve knowledge and experience transfer since all Agile project efforts are systematically documented and all efforts are visible in a cross-cutting manner. Fostering innovation, improving workflow and transparency, and resolve of organizational impediments. The national methodology centers in the region have interacted in coordinated manner over the years for the transfer of knowledge and methodological capabilities. Although they have been successful and have established mechanisms for this, the development of technological projects that require adapting to new technologies and trends opens an area of opportunity that allows the Agile model can complement the interaction very efficiently. There are many benefits using Agile models to organizations or projects. However, the following benefits are discussed, and those benefits were told in this slide. Then we have, for sure, expected challenges of adopting Agile model, and we define these ones. The challenge one is implementation is difficult without practice. We have planned the mitigation solution. Workshops are available and the task force will guide in all the process of implementation to improve it. We are going to find change resistance. We have the mitigation solution. Agile model work is based on people and their culture, so they change will be gradual through the example of teams and groups that have already adopted the model. And we are going to have a challenge of implementation will be difficult in traditional organizations. We have the mitigation solution, that is the Agile model proposes the efficient propagation of a work structure and value development so that any organization that contemplates value change and technology should have no problem. As we know, the implementation of disruptive models can generate challenges that have been identified. So this is the mitigation solution of every challenge expected. So we expect to move this mass with a round shape rather than a cubic shape. Then we have Agile model as a seen from experience. We are going to talk experiences from National Methodology Institutes. We have one for Senam. This was a meteorological project with Agile model. We had development of a functional system to improve acoustic comfort in the interior of vehicles, comparable in performance with international brands with more than 10 years of experience. The meteorological knowledge was vibroacoustics. The project budget of this project was $300,000. The time was 3 years with demonstration iterations every 6 months and every year thereafter. The status of this project was successfully completed on May of this year, and with new opportunities for collaboration. The risk, we detected risk because Agile model worked with risks and dependencies. COVID-19 was a very difficult time for projects, for development, but we have the mitigation plan that Agile provide us the solution, because we adapt, as our colleagues the previous presentation said, that Agile is to adapt to the new challenges. So because we are iterative and adaptive, so we have to mitigate this COVID-19 trouble, and we get in a success way. The Agile team was 7 members: 1 product owner, 1 product manager, 1 scrum master, and 4 development team operations members. This was performed on Senam. We have when the task force was created, we implement an Agile pilot project to know how implement this effort to a more complex projects. That's why we begin the Agile pilot projects, that was the development of methodological cloud and proposal and digital calibration certificates. The methodological knowledge was about methodological cloud and digital calibration certificates. The project budget there is no project budget, but we have 6 months to develop this. The status is completed, and we are going to deliver today these documents. we're going to share it to the web page. I'm going to tell Carlos to help us to upload the documents that we are going to share in the next hours. The risk delays the learning the Agile model. This is an expected challenge, because when we identify the stakeholders and the participants, we need to give them a workshop about Agile model. So they must learn in a very rapid way all the theoretical information, but then we begin having these Agile sessions, and the practice. With the practice, they understand faster how apply Agile model. So this was one of the risk box, but we made a mitigation plan that was periodic follow-up of blockage, planning with the coordinating group, and improvement for the next projects we have. And for this effort, we have for methodological cloud 10 members, and the digital certificate 12 members. The participation of different national methodology institutes and the consultant of the PTB were present there, Senam, INTI, and Senamep, and those were our pilot projects, digital calibration certificates and methodological cloud. Taking into account the lesson learned, together with the Agile Project Task Force Coordinating Group, we redesign and adjust the work structure and role definition to adapt them to the work between NMIs. We learn about the pilot projects, how to improve the interaction between NMIs, how to get easier the way that Agile can adapt to the SIM region, and that's why we modify a little bit the structure of Agile, and we made our own structure. So let's go to that part. In order to meet the objectives and achieve the benefits defined above, we have developed Agile pilot projects, and that's why we have here the result of this project, Agile pilot project. We have here the structure. We have at the head of this structure, we have stakeholders, workshops, and coordinator group, that is who are going to facilitate the workflow with the system and the structure. So I'm going to say that we restructure the organization with remote interactions, because we need to collaborate with different NMIs. Definition of the scopes, we better this part. We improve, sorry. And we add about acceptance criteria. We reinforce the idea of acceptance criteria, and then we improve the structure of the Agile project as is shown below. The different elements that compose this structure are the stakeholders that I'm going to make a zoom here. They request solutions based on needs, technological observations belonging to different organizations and working groups. The coordination group is a group of specialists belonging to Agile projects that land and define the strategies to approach, define the ideas of the stakeholders and those coming from the workshops. They facilitate the definition of Agile structure of projects interacting between stakeholders and the product manager, train members of the Agile structure for its application, and provide follow-up and simplified consultation. The workshops are events organized by internal or external stakeholders dealing with digital transformation topics, where ideas, technologies, and possible applications of interest to develop are observed. The product manager is responsible for defining and supporting the building of desirable, feasible, viable, and sustainable products that can meet customer needs over the product market life cycle. We have the product owner that is responsible for defining stories and prioritizing the team backlog to streamline the execution of program priorities while maintaining the conceptual and technical integrity of the features or components for the team. The Scrum Master is a key of the success of the projects because are servant leader that coaches for an Agile team. The Scrum Master role is taken by a team member whose primary responsibility is to assist the self-organizing, self-managing team to achieve its goal. The Scrum Master do this by teaching and coaching the team practices, implementing and supporting principles and practices, identifying and eliminating impediments, and facilitating the flow. And the development team, Agile team, is a cross-functional group of 11 individuals who define, build, test, and deliver an increment of value in the short time box. So we have here the structure. As you can see at the same level, these participants or elements of the structure defines the epic. The epic is like it's the scope. So they work together to define the scope. Then we go down with the product manager and the product owner. They, together with the development team, that is Scrum Master and development team, define the features of this epic or scope, and define as well the stories that conform these features. If you can see, we break down the epic in different elements that conform the features, and at the same time we break down the features into stories and so on. In this way, we can have a small task that can be done in a small time amount to deliver small pieces of a whole scope. So we guarantee in this way that we are not going to miss something important to the clients. So the elements is the epic. The epic, I'm going to describe it very fast because I don't have so much time, is the definition of the scope through the sum of ideas proposed by customers, stakeholders, and collaborators. The features are these. These are the characteristics that define the epic through a breakdown of attributes, acceptance criteria, and deliverables. The story are large activities that make up the features and are defined by the development team in conjunction with the product owner and Scrum Master. And the stories are small activities that were broken down from larger activities for the purpose of improving the management of time, iterations, and deliverables. Okay, we are going we want to make very clear this part. We are going to explain very fast an implementation example defining an agile model. So imagine that our stakeholders are automation of laboratory processes, methodology for Industry 4.0, cloud methodologies, technologies for metrology, digital certification certificate, and one of them raised the hand and said, "I have an idea." That idea comes from us if the responsible of automation of laboratories says, I want to develop this technological project with you, with your agile model. So these come from to us. We identify the stakeholder that it is automation of laboratory processes. We will research if there is not an example from the workshops that we can take account to plan to define a strategy from our coordination group. So these three elements combined and in a synergy way define the idea of the automation laboratory processes, and they say we want to develop a thermo hygrobarometer. So this is our project right now. Then we apply this kind of chain of activities, requests from expedited project attention from stakeholders, customers, or collaborators. We review the issue with the Agile Project Coordination Group. We define strategies and identification of roles according to the project members. We apply and training of simplified Agile model to the project members. And the Agile Day Meeting, we define an Agile Day Meeting where the customer, stakeholders, and collaborators meet with the project team and the Agile Project Coordination Group to define the epic and features in common agreements. And all of them, they have to agree the terms and the epic in order to break down into features and then to the stories, as we said. So we are going to, let's go to Mural. So in this way, we apply technologies to simplify the, I have already here, open here. We apply this Mural to collaborate with all our stakeholders. As you can see, I have here an example. We identify, as mentioned, the automation of laboratory processes is our stakeholder. The coordination group is facilitate and define strategy. Right now, I put Hugo Gasca like a product manager of this project that it is for the thermohygrobarometer. And we define in collaboration with these persons the EPIC, and the EPIC is development of a system for remote measurement of laboratory environmental conditions, temperature, relative humidity, and atmospheric pressure, including network connectivity for data extraction. We have here not a very clear idea of remote calibration or verification. So this epic was from the meeting of these all of important elements in the Scrum, in the project structure. So then I'm going to focus here. We define with the product manager, product owner, and the Scrum Master the features. The features are the elements that compose the epic. So as we know, we need sensors, we need a part of integration, we need to the data process, we need a part of connectivity, and it can continue. We need there for the remote calibration, maybe the DCC. We need maybe the calibration certificate, digital calibration certificates. We need maybe help of Industry 4.0. This is the planning time. So we have here an example. Maybe there is not all the elements that compose the features, but it's an example. Okay. Then, as we follow the structure, there are the sensor, the data process, and the connectivity. So Diego, for example, Diego Copa from INTI, where is going to work from all the part of sensors. He will be in charge to be very, very focused that the development team with the Scrum Master achieve the objectives of this part of the sensors. So he is going to talk to me because I'm the Scrum Master, and I am to talk with the development team. So all we are going to work together, and we have transversal communication between product owners of the different elements that compose the project. So if you can see, we have well-defined structure, we have well-defined the roles, we can simplify the effort to all of them. They understand the same language. They all of them know what they want and need to do to develop this project. Later, we apply this structure to define, as our colleagues show us, the iteration plan. They define here who are the Scrum Master, the product owner, calendarize the activities, define the activities, select the persons with their activities, and develop here and share the information that they cover, recollect, and they generate. This is part of the Agile model. So I'm going to go back to our presentation to the final and conclusions. So this is our work. We are going to, in the short term, we are going to share our phase 1 of Agile Pilot Projects. Today we are going to upload this information. We are going to have interview with all the stakeholders of the methodological cloud and digital certificate with the development deliverables of the pilot projects to have a discussion of future Agile projects to define DCC and methodology cloud. We are going to provide Agile model workshops. If you want, you can tell us and we can give you Agile model workshops for you. If you are interested, please send us an email. We are going to identify with the stakeholders new projects to develop in Agile way. And the future work, we are developing the hygrobarometer with the task forces in Agile way. We are continue with DCC and Methodology Cloud Agile projects to develop the first apps. And the long term, we are going to have to define our stakeholders and finish DCC and MC Methodology Cloud. As a conclusion, the Agile Projects Task Force provides support to stakeholders to make their projects more successful in delivering value by satisfying their requirements. The lessons learned from the pilot projects allow structuring a new way to implement the Agile model and to provide follow-up and control, always having a seeking interaction between the national methodology institutes to develop projects around the digital transformation and the improvement of the objectives of the Inter-American methodology system. So this is a call for all interested. Please join us if you are interested in participating in Agile projects and receiving technical and management knowledge. Please contact us. Be part of the Success in Agile movement. So this is everything for our side. Questions and contact. There is my contact, Aldo Garcia, or you can contact Alexis Valky or Hugo Gastka. So thank you. I don't know if you have comments.
Thank you very much, Aldo, for your presentation. Very interesting, and 2 examples. Please write down your questions if you have any question to Aldo for the other speakers. Right now, I see just the presentation. I couldn't review this before, Aldo, that you sent. But I have a question right now. Is about if you have consider any line of action to support the IDB project from SIM. It was not clear for me that it was considered in this presentation as action.
Okay, yeah, actually we need to define this participation. For sure, we have with you, especially first talks about how we can implement Agile model. For sure, if you tell me that we are going to apply this Agile model for IBD projects, we need to meet and define the structure for how we are going to apply this Agile model for this kind of project. And something very important is that we need some methodologists interested in participate in these different kind of projects using Agile model. So please, if you are interested, come with us. We are going to give you capacitation, some courses, workshops to understand this agile model, and this will help us to cover all the agile projects that we have right now. We have the thermo hygrobarometer project that is very interesting. We need persons who are interested in participate, and as you said, Hugo, we are going to think about then, and at the IBD project, we need more collaborative persons to achieve these important projects. So that's the answer, Hugo.
Thank you, Aldo. Thank you very much for your answer. Is there any other question that we can try to answer? Please write it down or say it. Raise your hand and start speaking your question. You can write it in Spanish. There's no problem. We can translate it. It seems no questions.
I think we were very productive with the time.
Yeah. And you covered a lot. I like it. Thank you very much for your presentation, Aldo. If no questions, more questions are available by now. Let's move to next section where we thank Aldo Garcia for his talk. I think we probably have some. Okay, thank you to all the speakers. Thank you, Maria Alejandra. Yeah, we have to thank you, Aldo, and before ending, I want to let you know that we ask you to spend some few seconds, I would say not minutes, to fill a very brief survey that you can find in the chat. Francisco already shared this form for this survey. In addition, as you answer this, as you fill this survey, is really quick. It's very short. In addition, we want to invite you to the following M4DT Day event. It will be conducted on July the 29th, and the topic will be lab automation. So please save the date, and we invite you to enter the web page, where you will find more information on today's event, as the slides of the presentation and the recorded videos of this session. While you answer, you fill up the brief survey. I will give you probably a minute. It's very short, very short survey. And we want to thank very much to all the participants, especially to the speakers, Antonio, Carlos, Aldo, and Aldo, for sharing their experience in these themes and for answering the questions, very interesting questions. I don't know if we have information about how it's going, how we're progressing with the survey. Francisco, can we know?
No yet, but we need a photo.
Yes, but we can just leave the link and ask you to fill up to answer the survey. And I want to invite you to open your camera, to turn your camera on, to take a group picture of this event for all the participants, please.
Just a moment. Okay. One, two, three. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time and save the date for the next debate. I will appreciate very much if you can fill up the survey so we can get feedback from you and do adjustments to this event. Any other thing that I probably be missing, Ruben or Francisco?
No, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
And don't forget the evaluation, please.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you to
Bye.
all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone. Bye-bye.